We're now on M5-117. Now that we've learned the formula for volume of a sphere, which is 4/3 pi times the radius cubed, we're going to use that and see if we really understand how to find the volume. So on number 1 it says Earth has a diameter of approximately 7,926 miles. So what is the length of the radius? Well, the radius is going to be half of that. So we just need to divide that 7,000 number, 7,926 divided by 2, and that's 3,963 miles would be the radius. And then we're going to use that to determine the volume because we need radius. So we'll just put that into our formula, so 4/3 pi times that radius cubed. So 3,963 cubed. Now you'll definitely want a scientific calculator for doing these sorts of problems. Now everyone has their favorite way of putting these sorts of problems into a calculator. I like to start with the cubing the radius, so 3,963 to the third power is a ridiculously big number. Then we can multiply that by pi. Then we can multiply that times 4 and divide it by 3. And you can see why this sort of thing comes after scientific notation. We could write this in scientific notation, or we could kind of leave it as is. So this is 260, 711, 882, 973.32 miles cubed. That is a lot of space, but that makes sense because the Earth is humongous. Number 2, the circumference of a NBA basketball ranges from 29.5 to 30 inches, and of course there's a range because depending on how much has been blown up. Calculate the approximate length of the radius of the basketball with a circumference of 30. So if the circumference is 30, and remember circumference is the diameter times pi, we can just work backwards. So our circumference was 30. So if we divide 30 by pi, that's going to be our diameter. So 30 divided by pi is about 9.5-ish. Now, it's not asking for diameter though, it's asking for radius. So the radius is just half of that. So that is about 4.77-ish. Now that we have the radius, we can calculate the volume. So we'll start with our formula, 4/3 pi times the radius cubed. So that 4.77 cubed. Let's get on my calculator. This is just how I do it. I'm going to start with cubing that 4.77. Then I can multiply it by pi. Then multiply it by 4 divided by 3. And we of course can round this. So approximately 454.6 inches cubed. All right, last problem. The volume of Major League Baseball is 12.77 cubic inches. Calculate the approximate radius. So we have to work backwards here. So if we have the volume is 4/3 pi radius cubed, and we have the volume, we just have to work backwards, undo everything that's happening to the radius. So let's start by putting that 1277 on our calculator. So if I'm looking through here, I'm looking at all the things that I need to undo. Like 4 was multiplied, so let's divide by 4. And 3 was divided by, so let's multiply by 3. Pi would have been multiplied by, so we'll divide by it. And basically we have like 3.05 is the radius cubed. But I don't want the radius cubed, I want it cube rooted. So I'm going to cube root 3.05, and I'm getting that the radius is about 1.45 inches. Then using that to calculate the circumference of that. So remember the circumference is the diameter times pi. So we have radius, we just need to find diameter, which of course is that times 2. So 1.45 times 2 is a 2.9 inches. So we'll do our 2.9 times pi, and we're getting that the circumference is about 9.11 inches. So like if I wanted to wrap a ribbon or a string or something around the baseball, I would need a little bit more than 9 inches.